I'm Ray, and this is TinyTableGames. Thanks for clicking on the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already to help the channel grow. And thanks for watching. Today we're playing episode 2 of the campaign of Undaunted Normandy. Episode 1 went to the Germans and would have gone to the Germans quicker had I actually gotten all the rules right, but we fixed that. Won't have that problem again going forward. Hopefully the Allies can come back and stick it to them here in the second adventure. So that said, let's get going. If you're curious about all the extra rules and stuff, more narrative for that in the first video. This one we're gonna get stuck in right in. So thank you very much, and let's get to it. So here is the setup for the second scenario. I already have the 2 decks ready to go for both the Allies and the Germans. Most of the time they'll just be off camera because why would you really need to see that anyway? You'll always see the hand. In any case, this is scenario 2. Montmartin and Grange? Yeah, I do not speak French. Anyway, historically, it's the assault to the Veratois Canal. As the 30th Infantry Division moved south of the railway, it encountered German machine gun nests in the tiny settlement of Les Naldere. After a 40-minute battle, they cleared the area. By the end of the morning, the U.S. forces had inched forward another quarter mile to the outskirts of Montmartin and Grange, whatever, a larger hamlet, which boasted a church steeple projecting above the old mud-colored farm buildings. After another hour of hard fighting, they were in possession of the hamlet. The U.S. objective is to control one objective point, and the German objective is to pin U.S. forces, meaning no riflemen left on the board. So, for riflemen to be cleared off the board, there are 2 in the deck of each rifleman. So you'd have to hit each rifleman 3 times. Pull it from the 2 cards out of the deck plus their token. So 6 shots total, if made properly, can win it for the Germans, which means that we're going to quickly want to recruit more riflemen to make that harder to occur. So looking at the map, you can see there's only 3 places where any victory points are even on the map. One is at the church, one is on this little farmhouse square, and this other farmhouse square. The Allies have riflemen and scouts, and that's all they have. And the Germans have riflemen, scouts, and machine gunners, which is a new unit. They only have their 1 square scouted though, although I don't imagine they'd really want to be charging up the field. There's a whole lot of really flat 0 bonus terrain. And remember, you can shoot anybody from anywhere on these maps, so they can start firing immediately. So sticking to high value squares is going to be essential, which means it immediately presents itself that the thing to do here is to go from the 2 square to the 3 square to the 2 square, 2 square, 1 square, and call it a win. The other choice is 2 square, 2 square, 1 square. About the same amount of movement, so yeah, we'll see. The Germans did not do great, so they're going to use one of their scout fog of wars for their initiative. I hate it when they're upside down. All right. Bolster. Oh, hey, you can pick up. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep him. Scout. Need the scout because otherwise we can't move. So we're going to use one of the riflemen's from Company A because Company A is a little farther back as the initiative token. So, or as the initiative bid. So the Allies are going first. Where is that token? Oh, there it is. The Allies have initiative. Those go to the discard pile, and first up is the Allies. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is bolster 3. We could do command 2, but what I really want to do is make sure that we have lots of riflemen. So bolstering 3, we're going to take 2 from squad B because they're slightly closer, and 1 from squad A. They'll go straight into the discard pile, and I could not be happier about that for a start of game draw. If I scoot this over here a little bit, I can make this the German discard pile. There. Don't know that it matters to anybody, but there we are. And for symmetry, oof. All right. Now we need to do scouting, even though it's going to introduce Fog of War because we don't have a choice. So Scout A is going to do the Scout 2 action. And he's going to, this one's already scouted. 1, 2. There's a connection from here on the flat part, so you can actually bounce to that one. So we're going to go 1, 2 and scout there. And we pick up 1 Fog of War for doing it. Okay, and that's everybody. So over to the Germans, who have 1 Fog of War, which does nothing. The goggles, they do nothing. We got an Inspire A and a Scout. Question is, do we even want a Scout? I don't think so. Why would we not just camp and shoot the heck out of these guys coming? So, especially at 0-1. Yeah, I don't see why we would do otherwise. So a Scout is going to attack, and the squad leader, I think, will bolster for 2 more riflemen from A. Oh, he can also bolster and get a machine gunner from A, so maybe he'll just go with 2 machine gunners. That puts all the machine gunners into play. So we've got 1 shot from a Scout. Let's see, he will shoot at this rifleman from B. So that is 1, 2, 3. So he's 3 plus 4 for 7, plus 3 is 10. So he's literally at the, gotta roll a 10 to hit, because you can always hit on a 10 in the rule book. Doesn't do it. But hardly a wasted shot, really, since they all just have to sit there and plink at them as they come. All right, time for a new round. The Germans are actually gonna wanna go slow this time. The closer the allies get, the better. So we'll once again dump their Fog of War as their initiative. Meanwhile, the allies, who start with more cards in their deck than the Germans, by the way, in this scenario. Let's see. Let's see, at a 1B Inspire. Ah, that's gonna work out great. Okay. We're going to use the squad leader for the initiative, so the allies will remain going first. We're going to use the Scout to conceal this Fog of War and put it back in their supply pile, which allows us to draw 1 more card immediately, which is another Fog of War, which ain't great, but oh well, at least we got rid of 1. And Rifleman A here is going to move forward. And over to the German side, Rifleman, and Machine Gunner. Okay, well, Rifleman A is going to attack, then Rifleman A is going to attack. So he will be shooting at the other Rifleman A. So that's 1, 2, 3, plus 4 is 7. So that's a much easier shot than the other position. So 7 or higher to hit. Here's Rifleman number 1, hits. Rifleman number 2, misses. So he takes 1 hit. Let's see, it comes from your discard pile. So 1 Rifleman A is out. And then the Machine Gunner will also fire at Rifleman A with 2 attacks. And if both of them hit, it still only counts as 1. So it's just extra dice. And one of them does with another 10. So there it is. Okay, so that's not great, but I mean, it's kind of to be expected, I suppose. So now what? That's the end of the round. Time to shuffle up, since neither side has enough cards left in their decks to do that, and we'll get going. So once again, the Germans do not care about initiative, so they'll dump a Fog of War if they've got one. Yep. So there's that. And that leaves it with a Scout, a Squad Leader, and a Platoon Sergeant. That's pretty good. On the Allied side, getting down that table is a key, so is bolstering, so we'll be bolstering for sure with him. Scout, yeah, need that. Rifleman B and Rifleman B. Rats. And Scout B. Well, Rifleman B's not going anywhere until so he's going to be the initiative. So the allies retain the initiative once again. And we're going to use bolstering from Squad A, which is perfect, to bring in the last two Rifleman cards. And now we've got Scout B and Rifleman B. Scout B is going to, well, scout. And he's going to go 1-2, which introduces 2 Fog of War cards. And Rifleman B is going to move forward into this position. And that's it for the allies. Rifleman B is only 1-2 moves from being in a spot where if he can survive long enough, they can do pretty well. But we don't have any way to do suppression fire or anything, so this is kind of just run across the field and try not to die situation. Okay, so we got the platoon sergeant is going to All right, well, Scout A is going to move to here and not bother with both. So that'll introduce 1 Fog of War card and prevents the allies from immediately claiming that spot. The platoon sergeant will now command for 2, so draw 2 cards. Oh, could not have asked for better than that. So, Machine Gunner 1 will shoot at Rifleman B there with 2 attacks. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to get it done on 2 dice. He does not. And so they shoot again. Don't get it done. So they get inspired, 1 more person, and fire that machine gun 1 more time. And hit that time. So Rifleman B takes a hit. There's nothing left in the hand, so discard pile, off it goes. And Rifleman B takes a hit for the team there. So that's it for that round. Went quite quickly. Germans up again. Again, just dumping their Fog of Wars and letting the allies run at them. The allies. Oof. Let's see. Scout A. Yeah, we do need him. Rifleman A. We need him. Rifleman B1. Okay, so we use one of the Rifleman Bs to act as the, should we though? 1, 2. I don't know. Kind of making a play over here. Nope. We're definitely going this way. All right, so allies are up first again. Scout A is going to do his thing. 1, 2. Well, yep, 2 more Fog of War into the deck. Which, you know, yikes, but still. Rifleman A is going to move. And happily he's in a more protected hex now. Got to remember that for next time to make 2 moves to get out of that 0 hex. And finally, Rifleman B. That's interesting. I think he's going to attack. He's going to shoot straight into these machine gunners. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a 9 or a 10 for the shot. But he's in a decent spot. Oh, should he just run though? Well, the Germans haven't gone yet. They used 2 machine gun cards. There's a chance they won't have another one. So he'll risk it. He'll move instead. to keep the pressure up on the right flank a little bit. Now we go to the Germans, who, surprise, still have a machine gunner. And 2 of Rifleman A, and Rifleman A number 1. Yeah, it's just going to stay where he's at. There's really no reason to move off a 3 defense position, but he will fire at Rifleman B. So that's 4, 6, 7, 8 total to hit. He does not do it, so he will use another attack card and do it again, and hits this time. So Rifleman B takes another hit. And finally, the machine gunner will also target Rifleman B. 2 dice, needing 1, 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. 8 again. Does not get it. So Rifleman B sustaining a lot of damage, but still holding out. The Germans need to shuffle up. The US does not yet, excuse me, the Allies. So let's go. Okay, once again, Germans are not looking to take the initiative. They're looking to shoot. So they will dump their Fog of War, as always, as their initiative, and instead hoard all their other cards. The Allies now need to get rid of that scout so they can move up on that spot, or just keep distracting generally and charge up here, which might be the appropriate action to take. And this is scouted, not controlled, so I need to flip that over. Okay, squad leader, that's good news. Platoon sergeant, that's good. Fog of War, that's bad. All right, so not doing quite what I hoped for. Bolster 3, bolster 2. All right, we're gonna do a bolster 2 for on the B side from the squad leader. Maybe? Because I really want to do this command too. So we're going to do the bolster here to pick up our last B rifleman and I guess a scout, because we don't have another choice. Got to throw somebody else in there. And then we're going to do command 2 with the platoon sergeant. So we got to shuffle up. So he's going to command 2, and the 2 cards he gets is a Fog of War and a rifleman. One's not so helpful. The other one is the correct thing. So Rifleman can move 1, that opens him to damage, but it gets him closer to the goal. So Rifleman to move it up, even though it's a risk. On to the Germans, who have another Fog of War, a scout, and a machine gunner. The scout will stay right where he is and fire at Rifleman B. 4, 6, 7 to hit from that square, and misses. And the machine gunner will also attack Rifleman B, although maybe you should attack Rifleman A at this point. Yes, Rifleman A is a better choice. So let's see, that's 1, 2, plus 4 is 6, so hits on a 6. And he does hit, so Rifleman A takes a hit, and card discard. Yeah, that was pretty effective. So that's the end of the round. Time to draw up. The Germans are concerned about them taking control over here, so it's time to pour fire in. But we'll Fog of War for their initiative once more. And over here, the Allies have 2 choices: push in and get rid of that scout to take over this spot, or use these guys to try and suppress this gunner and move in with Rifleman A, which is probably going to be the better choice. Oh, wow. Okay. So, well, at least we got rid of those Fog of War early. All we can do is bolsters, because there's nobody to inspire, because we haven't done anything. Wow. Yeah, so the US will also use a Fog of War for their initiative. So the US retains initiative, and I guess we'll just bolster. 2 from A and 2 from B. which is pretty much everybody left. So there's a lot of scout actions left in there, but that can be useful for clearing out the fog of war. That was not a great draw. Okay, over to here. This was a good draw. So, Rifleman and Machine Gunner are both going to shoot at Rifleman A there. So it is once again 1, 2 plus 4 is 6. He's still caught out in the open, and I really didn't think it was going to be that bad this turn. I thought he'd at least get a chance to move. So Machine Gunner hits. Even if you hit more than once, it still only counts as one hit, happily. Rifleman A. Nope, not in there. Rifleman A in the deck. Yep, there was one. Oof, there's only 2 rifle. Well, now there's 1 Rifleman A card left in that deck. And I won't bother shuffling it until after this next roll, where the German Rifleman takes his shot and also hits. Ouch. So, that is all the Rifleman A cards. Yikes. Well, that's bad news. And the platoon sergeant is going to do command 2. Clears out a fog of war, and we got a squad leader who can bolster or inspire, which allows somebody from 1A to go again, which in this case is going to be the machine gunner, who will again shoot at Rifleman 4A. And hits, because he only needs a 6. There are no cards left of Rifleman 4A. Rifleman A, I should say. So this time, he is removed. Well, that's bad news. So the Germans are halfway to winning the scenario. They just have to get rid of the other token for the Rifleman, which is why we recruited so heavily right off the bat, to at least make that slightly harder, but apparently not hard enough. Okay. Wow. New round. Germans need to shuffle again. US does not. Well, the Germans couldn't be happier with how things are going as far as they're concerned. Machine gunner, Rifleman, Rifleman. So yeah, I guess we'll use this Rifleman card as the initiative. So they're on a 5. Meanwhile, the Allies need to do a lot better. And they have drawn, well, some fog of war and some not fog of war. Normally I'd use scouts to just get rid of the fog of war, but in this case, Eesh, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to use the... No, they have to keep the initiative so they can at least get a chance. So one of the scouts is going to get used for fog of war, for the initiative, so the U.S. can retain it. So this Rifleman at least has a chance, even though we don't have another Rifleman card. So we're going to use Conceal on this fog of war, which allows us to draw a card, and hopefully it's... Nope, it's not that. So he's just to sit and duck. The Germans get to go. Ouch. Machine gunner, and Rifleman will all be shooting at Rifleman B. That's 6, 7, 8 to get to him. So Machine Gunner 1 does not get. Machine Gunner 2 hits, and Rifleman does not hit. So it's 1 hit to Rifleman B. None of them are in the discard deck, so apparently they are all right there. And I shuffled, but there's only 4 cards left. So that's the end of the round. Everybody grabs their next 4 cards. The Germans are quite happy with where they're at. Well, that's a bad draw for them finally. So they will use one of their Fog of Wars as their initiative. Meanwhile, the US has this. There's no point in bolstering. There's nobody left to bolster, but command might be helpful. But what we really need is all those lovely rifleman actions. All right, we're going to use the scout action as the initiative, and we are going to gamble that the platoon sergeant command can do something useful, which will force us to shuffle, but maybe we can get some more cards to 2 more attacks of something to hit those scouts. Although the other choice is to retreat and circle back around to where A was going to be, although that certainly didn't work out for it too. So the 2 command, one is a Fog of War, at least he gets it out of the way. The other one is a squad leader, which can bolster, nobody left to bolster, or inspire. So that counts as another action, basically, for Rifleman B. Well, Scout A, and the pile is always open information. There's 2 there, so there's probably 1 or 2 in the deck of Scout A. So it may be faster to shoot him and move up. This sure does expose him to a lot of... If he retreats, he can get it all the way back to here, which is super safe-ish, because they'd only hit on a 10 at that point. But then he'd still have to make his way over there, which is not safe. So I think we're going to do with, first we'll do an attack from Rifleman B there to Scout A. And he needs a 6, 7 to hit. It'd be a 6 if he moved 1 space closer, but I don't want to use the card on that yet because that also makes him easier to hit too. He hits. So Scout A first loses their card from their hand. But that's not that. So then we go to the let's see, discard, Rifleman, machine gunner, machine gunner, machine gunner. Nope, not in there. So the Scout A card must still be in the deck. Squad leader, machine gunner, Scout A. So there was only, in fact, 1 Scout A card in there. That's interesting. And we have another Rifleman action, which we're going to use to shoot at that scout again. And we hit. And we know there's no more scout cards in there, so his token is also removed from the board. And now we shall use the Squad Leader Inspire action to inspire someone in Unit B to go again. And that someone is the Rifleman. Oh, actually that someone's going to be the Scout. Except he can't go either. So it's got to be the Rifleman again. So the Rifleman will stay where he's at and shoot at the Machine Gunner. Because the more the merrier on that front. And it will be 4 plus 3 is 7, 8, 9. So hits on a 9. Wow. Well, is what it is. Nope. Because I got to use the scout to get up so he can scout that spot first so the Rifleman can move up. All right. The German side has a command 2, so he's going to use it. And the 2 cards he draws is a Fog of War and the Machine Gunner, who will automatically shoot at the Rifleman. 4, 6, 7, 8. So he needs an 8 on 2 dice. Doesn't, wow, does not get it though. Whew, getting tense. All right, Germans need to shuffle, US does not. Okay, the Germans, let's see, Squad Leader, Fog of War, and Rifleman. Well, they'll definitely lead with their Fog of War for their initiative. Or will they? The space is clear. If the US does well enough, they could actually win on this turn. So they're going to have to go with the squad leader for their initiative to try and hold on. Meanwhile, got scout action. Yay, a B scout and fogs of war. All right. We're safer here than safer there. We don't have enough cards to finish it out, so we're going to use the fog of war and give the initiative to the Germans, who cannot do as much as the US feared in this case. He will just attack one at the rifleman. So that's 1, 2, so 8. Still. And he hits. First from the hand, but there's not any in the hand. Discard. Yep. Okay. So that wasn't great, and now it's over to the Allies' turn. Let's see, Scout A is going to ditch this Fog of War, which will allow him to draw a card and get another Scout A. Well, that's better than nothing. Scout B is going to, scout and move up to put a token here, which will allow the rifleman to move up finally. And Scout A, let's see, he's only 2 away from him. I think he's going to attack, because that's the best thing he can do, rather than waste his time moving forward. So he will shoot at the gunner. It'll be a 7, 8, 9 to hit, so 9 or better for the scout to shoot. That's cocked. He hits. That's crazy. All right, well, he's already used his card, so there's nothing in hand, so you go to the discard. There's nothing in the discard, so now we check the deck. Machine gunner, woo, here's one. Okay, so they got a shuffle, and that's the end of that round. So we know there's 3 machine gun cards total, I think, which is open knowledge to both players, by the way. So card counting is an okay thing to do, because it's even in the setup sheet that there is 3 machine gun cards. Machine gunner A. So one of them is gone, so that means there's 2 more machine gun cards in here. So most likely the Germans are about to draw them both. So what does that mean? That means the US wants to go as fast as they can. And hopefully, if they have 2 moves with Rifleman B, they're about to win the game. So initiative matters very much on this turn. So let's see, we've got a Scout B, a Fog of War, a Platoon Sergeant, and Scout B. Well, So Scout B is going to have to be our initiative offering. And let's see what the Germans do. Meanwhile, the Germans, got to use their Platoon Sergeant because they can't afford to have this rifleman move up to an unprotected square to retain initiative, so the Germans retain initiative. Ditch their Fog of War, because it doesn't matter, and then they're going to take 2 machine gun shots at Rifleman B. 6, 7, 8. So here's the first machine gun shot. Yep, 1 hit. Second machine gun shot. Miss. So 1 hit. Is it in the discard pile? No. Oh, there it is, but yes, first I need to check the hand. Is there 1 in his hand? There is not. There is 1 in the discard pile. It's very possible that that was all of them. Well, that was a letdown. So there's no way for the Allies to win because we can't tell the riflemen to move. anymore. So 2 scenarios down, Germans winning both. That is not terribly historically accurate, sadly. Although I don't know that I could have done much different. The Germans just rolled really well, pulled those machine gun bolsters right off the bat, and just pounded them. And even though the token hasn't left the map yet, when you don't have the card to move it, you're done. So, sorry about that. The Germans have won 2 in a row. We will carry on with the campaign, although this is getting slightly depressing already. I am Ray, this is TinyTableGames. Thank you very much for watching. That's how it goes, though, with card-driven battle games and dice rolls. Sometimes things just don't go your way no matter how well you plan. I hope you have a really good day anyway, and I'll catch you next time.